Now, it's also an intuitive level. What do I mean by that? Is, I'll describe it this way, is when you were in the silence and you were attuning, you got that lovely sense of presence within. There was no thought. There was just awareness and the presence within your awareness. As you follow your awareness and the presence within it, that's you in your intuitive self. It's a direct line to your consciousness itself, your awareness itself. There is no thought process. There is no thinking about it. It's just awareness itself. You understand? Now, as you go about your day, okay, try this bit of fun, is all the rooms you go into, the people you meet, the situations you find yourself in, is can you center yourself physically in all the rooms, with all the people, in all the situations? The first thing you do when you enter a room or meet a new person or deal with a new situation is you come into your physical center of gravity and then stay in it for as long as you can and follow your intuition, follow the rightness of it. And then notice if your body starts to brace up, is okay, your body's bracing up for something. You don't necessarily need to try and, oh, what was that all about? You just notice that if your body braces up, you undo the brace, you just come back to your center of gravity and observe how your response changes. Where if you brace up, you respond one way. If you release the brace, you can respond more intuitively. You're staying in your center and then you respond from there. And you find that you respond in new ways and creative ways and ways that you never thought of because you're allowing yourself to just flow naturally in them. So your authenticity comes out in those responses. And because you're in the oneness of it, sometimes people can be a bit anxious about, God, if I let myself be unfiltered, God knows what would come out. You know, I'd be afraid if I went around speaking the truth to everybody, or if I was constantly honest all the time, how would people handle that? Is that some of the fears of people allowing themselves just to be unfiltered and free in themselves? But if you come into your center and you let yourself sway and let yourself just engage with it, it's a very nice feeling. It's a lovely feeling of connection. So you're most likely, you're going to have something that's going to come out from a place of connection, not a place of disconnection. And if you look at the micro movements that you're doing in your body, the micro movements in your breath, the micro movements in your awareness. So you're allowing a little release all the time. You're not exploding onto the seam. You know, you're not just going to let it all rip. You're letting that spontaneity out little by little by little. There's no rush for anything. You savor the lovely experience. So now you're doing that at a physical level. Now bring your breath into it. Is you're breathing. You're coming to the pause at the end of your exhale. It's a lovely calmness. You come to the pause at the peak of your inhale. There's a lovely lightness in that. There's a spaciousness and a lightness in it. So now you're bringing a lighter energy into the rooms of your life, into the people of your life and the situations of your life. What would happen if you allowed yourself to communicate a little bit more lightly within yourself? What's going to come out? Who's going to come out? And you let that come through your words and your actions and your deeds. And it's all small little things along the way. It's very, very nice. But it tells a story. And the story that's coming out is your truth story. It's your story from a place of oneness. But it comes out a little and a little and a little. Rather than spilling out the hurt story. Because if we feel separated, that disconnection, that two-ness, is that encourages our hurt story. What do I mean by that? A simple description of pain is if you experience pain, it hurts. You break skin, you break a bone. Emotionally, somebody tells you, I don't love you. Somebody you respect intellectually says you're stupid or calls you stupid. It's that experience of separation that hurts. So literally, pain is the experience of separation. So anytime we feel that separation, it hurts. If the pain becomes too much, we start to fight with it. We get rigid with it. And that hurt, that fighting with the hurt is suffering. And we're perpetuating the suffering the more we struggle with it. You understand? So now you're coming into a oneness. You're coming into a connection, physically, energetically, and mentally. So now as you stay in that connection and you let it out little by little, is rather than communicating your hurt story, you're communicating your truth story. You're coming into your authenticity with yourself. And it's little by little. You're sharing more of how you feel. You're sharing more of what your true thoughts are, what your real voice speaks, what your real eyes see, what you're truly feeling in whatever situation. But you're doing it little by little in micro movements, and it feels really nice because it feels authentic. Sometimes it isn't always easy in the sense of you're feeling something that's challenging or it's a strong sensation, but you treat it exactly how you would approach a posture. You're coming into a posture. Ground yourself, you yield, come into your mobility, and then you move into your flexibility. Now you're finding the edge of your posture, the limit where you can hold it all together, but you're being really challenged. But then you hold the edge until it becomes easier, and then you move a little deeper into the posture, a bit deeper into your body. But you're always holding that edge where you stay grounded. You've got your mobility, so your root and rise, and then you've got your flexibility. So you're always holding the integrity of your body and your alignment. But little by little, you go a little bit further, and you're incrementally increasing your intensity, your strength, things like that. You could do that at an emotional, energetic level, that you're allowing yourself to feel something. I'll give you an example. I love this one. I always ask people on teacher training courses, does everybody know their pain tolerance? Everybody's hand goes up. Yes, I know my pain tolerance. I know how much I can take. I go, okay. So does everybody know their pleasure tolerance? And less than half of the hands go up. Now, the ones who say yes normally say it with a grin, because if you know your pleasure tolerance, you know a lot about yourself. So now think about this, is, okay, you know your pain tolerance. What about your pleasure tolerance? What about if you allowed yourself to feel calm, or a little bit of peace, or a little bit of joy, or a little bit of contentment, or a little bit of excitement, anything you want, pick it all, anyone. But you only let yourself feel this amount of it. Now there's a discipline, like a posture. Can you feel a little bit more of it? Can you feel a little bit more of it? Can you feel it more? Can you allow more energy to be into it, more awareness to be in it? Is how big can you allow something to feel within you? Everybody get that? So what you're doing is that while you're building true strength and power in your body at an energetic level, you're building true strength and power at an energetic level. Your ability to feel a wide range of things, that is your human experience. And ultimately, you want to feel the full range of your humanity, the full range of your human experience. And the fact is, you're going to feel it anyway. This life delivers all the experiences of life within this life. You're going to feel it all. And the question is, are you going to struggle with it all? Are you going to be in the pain of it all? Or are you going to find the way to connect to it and live the oneness and the truth of it within you? And everybody has that capability. It's just understanding how it works and then incrementally bringing yourself more and more into that space. And then the same at a mental level is that you're able to hold a particular state of mind. A nice way to describe this, it's like you root down and you rise up. So what you're creating is extension, you're elongating. And that as you elongate your body, you're activating the natural integrity of your body. You're bringing the muscles to their full tone. You're bringing the joints to their full mobility and retain its adaptability. Okay, very important. What am I saying? Gotta try and remember this now. I know I'm talking at a mental level. What am I saying? At a mental level. At a mental level, somebody gonna help me here? Hi Paul. How you getting on? Okay, so at a mental level, I know what I was saying. Extension. So extension, extending the spine. That's really where you want to get to, is getting that spine lovely and open. All your joints are working for that. All your limbs are working for that. With your breath, you want to extend out your breath. So if you want to extend out something you're feeling, extend out your breath. Feel it and then lengthen your breath into it. It allows you to hold it greater. Now, at a mental level, holding different states of mind, it's your ability to be able to come into that state and then hold it for longer and longer and longer. You want to extend it out. So if you want to extend anything out, is you have to be able to hold it in the one place. And as you can hold it in the one place and allow yourself to move freely in it, it allows you to continuously be in that state. Do you understand? So as you come more into the awareness within your mind, is think about your mental center, is the mind screen, the mind field, and the awareness within. Now imagine taking all the qualities of your mind, all those different states, and filling your mind field with states, not with thoughts, but states. So a state of joy. You have a state of joy in your mind field, and it's just part of your mind itself, that state of joy. You've attuned to the frequency, you stay attuned to the frequency, and it's retained in your mind field. So here's your awareness, here's the joy, and then the joy is all permeate your mind field. It's not about a thought, it's about the state itself. So now, rather than trying to control your thoughts, is you control your awareness, and then you control what you put into the center of your awareness, and there's all the different states. Do you understand? Now I'm gonna play around with this a little bit. It's not always about the joy and the peace and the calm. They're wonderful, and yes, it is about those, but it's about your human experience. Now, your human experience, it's the full range of your human experience. So now if I asked you, is it possible, I'll say it this way, is it possible for you to be angry but not cause any harm? Is it possible for you to be angry but not cause any harm? And the answer is yes. And the reason why the answer is yes is because anger is a natural state within us. It's part of our humanity, it's part of our human experience. Is if you notice the qualities of anger, one of them is that there's clarity. And it's very hard to tell a lie when you're angry. And it's always about boundaries. Anger's, a lot of it's always about boundaries being crossed. So it gives you a great sense of clarity, it gives you a great sense of truth in yourself, and it gives you a great sense of boundaries. As an example, now if you're not using your anger on somebody to attack somebody, you're not causing them harm. If you're angry and you're not using it to attack yourself, you're not causing yourself any harm. But what it is that you're allowing yourself to feel that experience of your humanity in yourself, but you can be at peace with it. You don't have to fight it. You don't have to struggle with it. You don't have to use it to cause harm. It's just part of your experience. We all get angry sometimes, but we don't have to fight with it, and we don't have to use it for harm. It just tells us something. It's another form of our human experience. So let me ask you a question. Is in your mind field, where does that state of anger reside? Where it's at peace, where it is part of your living experience rather than something that you need to exclude or deny or try to control when it comes in. That you can peacefully just feel the anger of it, learn what you need to learn, and then move into that learning, but yet you don't have to be wrong in your anger. You don't have to be, you're not wrong at times to feel angry, because is it how you authentically feel? Yes, it is. I authentically feel this. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm feeling. What is it that you need to learn in it? And how can you step into that learning? And in that, then you can let go of the anger state, but it's part of our human experience. So why does it have to leave? Why can't it have its place of residence in your mind field like every other human state? All the different sides of your character and your nature that makes you up. Does that make sense? So that you don't have to be wrong in your humanity and your human experience. It's just how you attune to it, it's how you connect to it, and it's how you stay at one with it, how you speak the truth of it rather than communicating the hurt of it. Because if you're in the hurt of it, there's a strong possibility we're going to hurt somebody else or break something. But if that's not the case, well, then you're just in the authenticity of it. It comes and then it goes. Like many human experiences, they arise and fall at times. And that's just our humanity. Now, why am I saying all this? Because we're talking about doing and being. So you need to be able to facilitate the authenticity of what your experience is. The good, the bad, the ugly, the negative, the positive, whatever it is how can you facilitate yourself in that, in the doing of it, but in the being of it is where you don't cause harm. And you're in the authenticity. So while you feel it, it comes, you have the experience, learn what you need to learn, and then you can let go of the charge of it. You can just let it go. And no harm is caused. And you've learned something from it. And you're refining it as you go along. And then you'll find that those negative states that used to cause a lot of hurt don't cause hurt anymore. Then those negative states don't get brought up as much because they're not required as much. And you find that it's like you don't muddy the water as things settle. And as you settle, the more peaceful states come in, the higher states of consciousness come in, because the lower states of consciousness is rest. They find a place of peace where they don't get ruffled. But you have to allow yourself to go through the humanity of your experience. There's no way around it. There just isn't. So whether you want to do yoga in your bedroom or go and do yoga in a cave or do yoga when you're in work, it's all the same practice. It's all the same. And there are no ways around it. You just got to be able to find a way to engage with it and move through your experience, irregardless of what your life is, what your situation is. So it's the same for everybody.